Hawaii watch reaches day 5. I don't know how we're going to make it any longer here, Teddy. And how about the pitching domination by Ryu out on the West Coast, picking up his 10th win of the season? And the Padres streak continues to go in the opposite direction. Let's look at the hot topics today. First off, Phillies touch up Soroka in the first. I'm looking yesterday, Teddy, like, what a 4th of July. We're going to beat the Braves. We're up 4-0. No way we can lose this game. And before he could flip off the channel, the comeback started for those Atlanta Braves. Hot and muggy weather down in Atlanta. 12 runs on the board. They pulverized the Philadelphia Phillies pitching, especially the bullpen, Teddy. Yeesh, these Braves, man, they swing it, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, the hot lineups in MLB as a group have done pretty darn well over the last couple of weeks. In Atlanta, where they have 4 3-run homers over the last 2 days against Phillies pitching. The Braves, you like that team chemistry a little bit more than you like Philadelphia's right now. You certainly like that pitching staff a little bit more than you like Philadelphia's right now. And, oh, by the way, the Phillies have dropped into 3rd place. It's the Nats who are now in 2nd place in the NL East. The Bryce Harper signing looking worse and worse every day. We've got 9.5 more years to pay him.
Come on, Teddy. We're going to foot that bill, and we're going to like footing that bill over here in the city of Philadelphia. But you're right. When you look at it right now, Atlanta is swinging the bats hot. They get the Marlins in town this weekend, look to extend their lead. But also, you brought up a good point. Those Washington Nationals, 3 really good top-of-the-rotation guys, a lineup that can rake. If they can find some bullpen pieces, watch out. Only 6 games back now from the Atlanta Braves. And how about this one? This is a daily occurrence here, and it seems to get stranger and stranger. We're looking at a game with an over-under closing between 8.5 and 9. You have Aroldis Chapman on the mound. It's the bottom of the 9th inning. It's 3-1. You should be able to lock down the Tampa Bay Rays. Not so fast. They tie it up 3-3. You're saying, you know what? 1 run here, 2 runs here, can still live with it. And the Yankees, Teddy, explode for 5 runs in the 10th inning to easily go over that total. There's no time limit in baseball, Teddy, so those unders are always ready to die.
And that's brutal. I mean, like, you have Chapman on the hill and a 3-1 game. You've got runs to play with, You're sitting at between 8.5 and 9, and all of a sudden you look up and it's 4-4. You're like, uh-oh. And as soon as it's 4-4, it doesn't matter. They get 10, 4 in the 10th or 5 in the top of the 10th. Your total shot already with your under at 8.5, and at 9 at best you can hope for was a push once the game gets tied up. Chapman doesn't blow many saves, and the Yankees go nuts in extras. Tough beat. Look, if you're betting unders, you better have your Alka-Seltzer ready because it's stressful. As a service provider, I don't give out a lot of unders to clients. They hate them. I don't bet a ton of unders. I bet some when it's too good to, you're like, I got to play this one. It's just too good to pass up. This, and when you talk about taking years off your life, the bad beats from unders are as bad as any of them. And I don't know a lot of bettors that bet unders every day and are walking around smiling on a regular basis.
Exactly. Have the extra, you have a 2-run lead. You have an elite closer on the mound. The worst part about it, sometimes you can say, you know what, that's a really good swing of the bat, a 2-run home run, I can see it. But the fact, Teddy, that he went back-to-back wild pitches to tie up the game at 3 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning had to drive people crazy, but interesting nonetheless. And also, let's not forget, even after that run scored, Teddy, bases loaded for Tampa Bay. If they get 1 base hit right there, that game ends 4-3, and you win it anyway. But beggars can't be choosers. Congratulations if you had the over. And how about this, Teddy? Look, let's wind down here. Next week is the Major League Baseball, All-Star break, home run derby. It's a lot of fun to watch. But let's not forget about this. Gaining steam over the past couple of years. And also, Teddy, in your neck of the woods, a really good look for maybe a possible NBA team in the future for Las Vegas because the Summer League invades Las Vegas. Who says you can't bet on these games? Absolutely you can. How about the odds to win the Summer League? The Knicks, maybe they can get that consolation prize, Teddy. Not going to be as effective next year in the regular season. Couldn't draw any free agents. But the favorites to win the Summer League. How about that?
Yeah. Now, let me make this very clear. Summer League is beatable, okay? You just have to put the time in. It's like anything else. And I'm telling you flat out, the odds makers are not putting extended time into beating the NBA Summer League. The action's too light. They've got other stuff on their minds. Everybody's taking their vacations in July because they know that football season is on the horizon. So every odds maker that can get out of town does get out of town. And this is not, in the terms of Summer League, something that takes a ton of wise guy money. So if you take the time, you're watching these games, you're reading the coaches' quotes, it is absolutely beatable. The markets aren't nuts with the NBA Summer League. This is my time of year, and again, today's the last show before we go on break, and I don't go nuts with it. I know a couple of guys that have done very, very well. They go to the games, they get the coaches' quotes, they see what's going on. If you pay attention, you can beat it. Good luck.
I actually really enjoy it, Teddy, the NBA Summer League. I mean, even if you want to bet on it, make a little bit of money, but just the actual action going on, seeing the young kids play, go toe-to-toe, it's a really cool environment. Obviously, it's one of those things, too. It's like if you're a destination and you say, hey, you know what, we're going to fly out to Las Vegas in the summer. What better week to go or 2 weeks to go than when the NBA Summer League is in town? We'll keep an eye on it, keep you posted. But as Teddy said, nice little break coming up here, which we'll get into a little bit later on the show today. Nothing's going to stop us from football season. Recharge your batteries. Don't recharge your batteries. Football's coming, both college football and professional football. Today, top 20 college football team preview on that betting show. Those Texas Longhorns. How about this? 22-1 to win the NCAA title in 2019. And the team total at 9.5 sits at plus 105. Finished 10-4 last year, 7-2 in Big 12 play. Tom Herman leads the Longhorns in his third consecutive season. Looked for an actual improvement on last year. Sam Ehlinger back under quarterback. Accounted for 41 touchdowns last year in 2018. Some good running backs back into the equation, some decent wide receivers. But the one thing we talked about yesterday as well with the Washington Huskies, Teddy, on this defense, yes, they get a lot of five-star recruits. They got to replace 9 of 11 starters heading into the season. The Texas Longhorns, Teddy, our team today to preview for the 2019 season.
Sure. And Tom Herman is someone who caught my eye very early. You know, offense coordinator at Iowa State, offense coordinator at Ohio State, head coach at Houston, now head coach at Texas. You go back to his tenure at Iowa State as the offense coordinator, and you see what his track record has been as an underdog against the spread. This guy's been second to none in college football covering spreads in one role as a dog. Problem, of course, is that Texas, as good as they are, they're not going to be dogs very often this season. It's year 3 under Herman. Year 3 is a traditional this team goes to win the title type of year. And boy, they've got the quarterback, in Ehlinger, as you talked about. And remember, they won 10 games last year. They didn't have a single offensive touchdown of 50 yards or more. This wasn't a big play team. They were dinking and dunking all year long. This year we might see some more playmaking for Texas. And of course, they beat Oklahoma last year. They reached the Big 12 title game. They dominated the Sugar Bowl and against Georgia. And Herman's just pulled in back-to-back top 5 recruiting classes. So there's a whole lot of talent in Texas right now. I worry they're putting the cart before the horse. This team is very good. I'm not convinced they're going to be super elite. All right. They lose the leading receiver, little Jordan Humphrey. Although they still have a couple of seniors. And watch the freshman, Jake Smith. He might be real good. On the offensive line, 3 new starters. Of course, one of them might be Georgia Tech graduate transfer Parker Braun, who was a first-team All-ACC selection last year. But that is not yet confirmed that he's going to go. And, of course, you talked about there's a chance he may sit this year. And, of course, you talked about a defense that basically has to replace 9 starters, the entire front 7 and both starting cornerbacks. They've got a couple of really good safeties, and they have plenty of talent to replace what was on hand. But anytime you're talking about bringing in 9 new starters on the defense side of the football and you're playing LSU in week 2, Herman's better get them ready for a matchup like that. I think Texas is going to be very good. They might be great. They could win the title. But from a betting standpoint, my favorite role to support the Longhorns as a dog, I don't think I'm going to get him in that role a whole lot this season.